February. And we're going to jump right into it. As we can see on the monthly, we're continuing to one time frame higher for the 5th month in a row. Market pretty firmly above the previous month's range. Right, last month's high, 49.57 quarter. Currently, market trading at 107 quarter. The all-time high set in yesterday, 107.75. So we are very close to that all-time high. So definitely an interesting look today. It looks like we're about to hit the all-time high right now. We just tapped it. But so far, basically, we have, what do we have? Today's the 23rd. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 trading days left in the month. This is a leap year, so next Thursday will be the last trading day. No real news on the list today. Let's take a peek at what's going to be next week, maybe, just because there's really nothing today. Next week, Monday, we got new home sales. Tuesday, consumer confidence. Wednesday, GDP. So maybe Wednesday, a little bit of action. We got PCE, which is going to be big. Of course, we know that the Fed likes to look at PCE over PCI, or CPI, excuse me. And we got some Fed speakers. And then Friday looks like a US global manufacturing, and then PMI, ISM manufacturing. So a little bit more news next week than we had this week, right? This week was kind of a neutral or kind of muted week. What's up, Kumar? So we just want to keep, maintaining that perspective as far as our charts go, right? And right now, the monthly firmly in control, still sitting at a developing +4, firmly to the upside. Now, switching over to the weekly, you can see, and this is something that you can be, you can kind of be your own descriptor. If we were to change this and include the extended hours here, I guess we still ticked it just by just very marginally, but I don't know if we really call this one cessation of one time framing, really. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, we're back above that previous week's high. That previous week's high, of course, is the 50.66. That's kind of one thing that we were talking about yesterday. We want to see the market kind of firm up above that 50.66 in order to get that continuation to the upside, and boy did we. I didn't think that we were going to be trading as high or as far as we did, but here we are. And kind of like I was saying, is when we see the market starting to balance in these large balance zones, just because that can typically signal the end of a move doesn't necessarily mean that we want to be looking for the end of the move. We want to trade what the market's telling us to do, especially us. Most of us are day trading here. So really the information, it's important to maintain the perspective, and the long-term trend definitely still up. Is it a good idea to trade only looking at CVD divergence? No, I mean, that's not something that I do, so not something that I would recommend at all. But remember, this is not financial trading advice, so you gotta use your own risks. Over here to the daily, nice bounce off that trend. See, we put in a firm +4 day yesterday, and so today, while we're setting up the plan, like we're trading at a new all-time high right now, while we're setting up the plan, we want to make sure that we include this settle into it, right? Very large gap set up yesterday, so looks like we talked about that balance that we were in, right? Well, looks like a lot of those shorts got squeezed overnight. We opened up above the balance and then got that continuation. So that's definitely something we want to be paying attention to here. Over to the profiles, just a little bit of review from yesterday, right? We opened up, got a little bit of an offer here. Short started to cover right away, and then basically the market firmed up over the previous all-time high, and then, you know, just shot off to the upside, did a little bit of balancing before it moved, but then it just started to one time frame higher. We've left behind a few sets of single prints, so those are definitely some things that we want to be paying attention to. There also is another one at this 83. That's that mechanical pullback level. And then the market ended in a balance. So the key thing about yesterday, before we jump into what today is going to hold, is that we want to recognize that yesterday, although was trending, did leave us a double distribution. So with that, we're kind of drawing this double distribution like this. So we have a distribution here, and then we have our distribution here, basically. So we kind of have this double distribution look. In between is this imbalanced zone. So what I'm really looking for today is looking for it to hold this upper range, or settle 50.79. So it goes in line with what we're expecting. If we do get a peak, you know, play number 2, do get a peak in here, we want to see it firm up above the settle and then look for that continuation. Like I said, I don't have any levels above here. I would be looking really to trade back to the high and kind of shore up this previous poor high that we got yesterday, right? We didn't really get any excess on yesterday, so really just kind of looking like ran out of steam and then kind of rolled over and then really just kind of balanced on for the rest of the day. Now below that, right, there probably is some cautionary shorts that can be taken. Looking to trade down into the singles. Just remember, if the singles don't fill, then you're probably looking at a return back to this point of control, which is the settle for the most part. If the singles do fill and you get this kind of look through the singles, well, that's probably going to show acceptance, and then you'll be looking to target yesterday's half back, and then that volume point of control, or the low of yesterday's distribution, where we have kind of that weak low where sellers kind of ran out of yesterday, and then into yesterday's excess. Now, if there is a failure down there, right, a failure to get that continuation, there could be a nice little long that comes from inside this excess from yesterday, this distribution, that looks to test back up to the middle of the range. It's kind of yet to be seen, but you know, that's just something that we kind of have to pay attention to. Biggest thing is the double distribution from yesterday, and that's pretty much the number one thing you're going to want to be paying attention to. Moving over to today, you could see overnight inventory pretty split down the middle. Volume still here below, but that might just be due to, yeah, it is due to the runoff period. So actually volume here up above like 5101. You can see we're hitting the high right now. So maybe decent odds we open up on a gap here as well. So that'll be something that we want to be paying attention to. Possible gap play, right? Rather small gap, but definitely something that we want to be paying attention to if we do open up on a gap. I kind of expect it to close, especially small gaps like that. But that is a key. If a small gap like this, if we open on a very small gap like this and it doesn't close, very big key that sellers are weak, and you definitely don't want to be getting short. So once again, really, I think the only opportunity short is if these single prints fill. Failure to fill single prints keeps you on the long side all day. So let's go ahead and just failure to singles keeps us long all day, and we'll really be looking for that kind of retest there, right? If we get that retest off the settle, remember it was a +4 day, so then we're looking for that high, which is that 07. So you're looking at about a 10-point trade right there if the market sets up nice. Even longer if it fails to fill singles, be looking back up for this point of control, which is like the 5100 and then the 5107. To the downside, like I said, it's a cautionary short to this mechanical pullback. If the singles get filled, and then below that, really below this level here, which is like the 80, that's where I think you could probably look to actually get short, and there is probably some downside target here, like to the 68-ish area, which is another weak spot down there. We also do get the COT report today, so that should be nice. Um, I look forward to that every day or every week. Won't be as helpful since we broke up on the Thursday, not the Friday, or not the Tuesday, but it will still be more helpful than not. So that is pretty much it. Not really a necessity to get a correction for overnight inventory, as I think overnight inventory is pretty neutral, maybe getting a little bit long here. But once again, and this is something that we talked about yesterday, this poor high at the all-time high is not really the best sign for sellers, right? If you're looking to get short, not really your best look, especially not long term. You'd like to see excess on the high, and we just keep seeing excess on the low. So no real sign of a big seller or any key selling just yet. So you definitely want to be just patient and kind of wait for it to set up if that's what you're looking for. And I was watching a lot of these videos that Zoe has, and if you look at a lot of them, it's a lot of these videos are me kind of warning people to be careful getting short, because a lot of times it just doesn't last. And like pretty much if you find a chart with a long enough time frame, it's going to be up and to the right, almost exclusively, so definitely want to just be careful out there. Other than that, make sure that you're managing risk, sticking to your trade plan, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.